All right, we're here with Rachel Wolfson.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Comedian,
Yes.
actress, stunt woman extraordinaire.
Oh, yeah. Memer, stoner.
Yes.
I wear many hats and I smoke many blunts. I don't know.
Love to see it. Love to see it. So we're going to just jump in and ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Let's jump.
I love these furry
I'm just taking
hats.
it all in.
It's a lot going on right
There
now.
really is. Got my arm around a man named Shrek.
Legend.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, so who were some of your comedic influences or inspirations?
I mean, I loved Chris Rock. Obviously, Jackass was a huge influence on me comedically because I was like 15 when it first came out. And Sarah Silverman, Jerry Seinfeld, Bob Saget. My first stand-up comedy show was Mike Epps.
Oh, that's
when
so
I was
awesome.
in college.
Yeah.
I grew up watching comedies, loving comedy. Loving stand-up, and as soon as I basically turned 21 is when I started going to see stand-up shows in college.
Do you have a favorite all-time joke, or we can even open that up to memes if you'd like?
But I mean, I love Mitch Hedberg. He's amazing, isn't it? I ain't smoking anymore, and I ain't smoking any less.
Do you have any favorite memes? Be careful because we have Doge right here.
I see that.
He gets sensitive.
Obviously, any meme I've ever made is probably
the
one
best.
of my favorites.
Do you have a best stone story, like, or a memory of like you'll never forget?
God, I mean, I don't know any that I have that I would be willing to share on the internet.
That's totally fair. What about your first time smoking weed? What was that like?
Growing up, my parents told me if I smoked weed, I would die. So, yeah, and I believed them because this is before the internet access. And as soon as I got to college, all it took was like a hot guy to pass me some weed, and then I was hooked.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hot dudes, you know? You joke about this in your stand-up set.
Yes.
But Judge Jackie Glass.
Yeah.
Mama Wolfson.
Otherwise known as my dad's girlfriend. No, I'm just
Nice.
kidding.
Yeah. She put OJ away, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
Congratulations.
people confuse her for Lance Ito,
Oh, yeah.
the other judge.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's not
just
her.
so everyone knows, it was not for the murder case, for
Right.
the robbery. Yeah.
He got off the first time.
Yeah.
The second time.
The second time, yeah.
Yeah. He was just trying to steal like sports stuff.
I mean, he was just trying to get his memorabilia
Yeah.
back. So,
What was that like? Were people like, did people know that she was your mom when that was going on?
well, no one knew who I was, so there was no like, oh, that's Rachel's mom. Like maybe like people who knew both of us knew that was my mom,
Right.
if that makes sense. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Let's get into Jackass a little bit.
Okay.
Right off the bat, what's it like being the first female Jackassee?
It's constant paranoia and anxiety on and off set. I always think I'm going to get pranked. Like when you guys hit me up, I was like, I don't know if I should go down there. Is this a setup? It's fun. It's honestly still so surreal that I got to be a part of that experience. And I'm just stoked that they had me.
It's so funny you say that because like we were trying to, in our pre-production meeting, we were trying to think, oh, like what is she willing to do? And obviously we're not Jackass. We're not trying to do that. But then we flipped it. We're like, what if she brings stuff? Like, what if she just brings a jar of spiders or something for us to eat? And I was like, fuck.
Oh, look behind
why
you.
did I? Oh, God damn it. It's like, why did I sign up for this?
Good. I hope I bring that out, especially in men.
Yeah.
Like the anxiety.
For sure. I don't know how many people know this, but Johnny Knoxville actually slid into your DMs, which is a bold move. It's a great way to, get work and, get other things. What was that like for you?
Well, this was like strictly for work, which I was stoked
Yeah,
about. Again, like still, I'm like, did that really happen? Imagine like your childhood hero or someone you've always grew up idolizing just arrives into your direct messages one day. I was at a moment in my life where I was feeling down. I was going through a breakup, and I was like, man, I'm 30s now, and I'm just starting to get into stand-up comedy, and it hurts. And like, what am I doing with my life? And then here comes this message that just changed everything.
So was that your first reaction? Like, did you get chills? I feel like I would get chills just being like, oh, this is Johnny Knoxville.
I was like shaking. I was like, is this for real? And then deep down in my heart, I was like, I bet this is about Jackass. Like, I just knew. Yeah.
And then you went into test.
So Knoxville calls me and he's like, it's been 20 years since Jackass came out, and we're working on this anniversary special. So that's how he phrased it.
Nice.
And then I went in for a meeting with him and Jeff that lasted like 5 minutes because we all are horrible at meetings and have ADHD. And it was like, do you want to come play with us? And I was like, yes. Then I showed up for the test shoot. They just kept asking me to come back.
I love that you put it that way, like, hey, come play with us, because that's not a normal audition. Like,
No.
Right? Like, did you prep? Did you have to prep for, like, did you get in your headspace and do like your own
I start swallowing
stunts
goldfish. Like, I'm just like stapling myself at home,
Yes,
trying to like test my pain levels. No, I honestly had no idea what they wanted me there for. Like, obviously I'm a writer and I wanted to write for Jackass, and I'm not like a stunt person by nature, but I love doing stunts. But yeah, originally they wanted me there to like roast the guys. And that was kind of intimidating for me because it's like you walk into a family you don't know and start insulting them and then expect them to like you. And of course, like, because the fans, like, how would that look to the fans? Because, like, I'm also a fan. I don't want to insult them, but, like, I'm not comfortable enough to make fun of them yet. But I did. I started making fun of them, and, like, that's what kind of solidified, you know, my role moving forward.
Yeah. Once you got into filming and once you were on set, were there things that you were uncomfortable with? Were there sketches you turned down or sketches that you just refused to do?
Yeah. There was nothing that, like, made me uncomfortable because, again, you know, I grew up a Jackass fan. I know everything that Jackass entails. It was more like, I'm here, I'm down to participate. I trust these comedic geniuses. Anything they ask me to do, I know it's going to be funny first. I came from a place of yes. And there were just certain things that, like, Tremaine would be like, don't volunteer for this one, or, like, this bit, you're doing this, or whatever, because deep down, like, they don't want me to get seriously hurt. Like, I can handle pain, and there is a line where it's still funny, but, like, me getting seriously hurt, it kind of, like, takes the humor out of it.
Were there any stunts, maybe not you necessarily, that, like, just didn't make the cut?
Not really. Like, pretty much everything we shot in the test shoot, a lot of that went into the movie because, again, that when we started shooting Jackass, it was in 2019 before COVID.
Right.
There was 2 days of test shooting, and they used a bunch of footage from that. There was stuff that maybe didn't make it, but for the most part, pretty much everything I think we did. Awesome. Everything that worked. There was maybe a couple things I was there for that didn't work. But.
Right. What was your favorite sketch or favorite stunt? It could be yours or otherwise. I
love Silence of the Lambs, the obstacle course in 4.5 where Poopies is like, there was a lot of stuff out there. The Dum Dum Game's really funny. Dark Shark, anything with Dark Shark.
Oh my God, I love him so much. He had to be so much fun on set.
Oh, he's the best. He's truly the best. I would just watch a show of Dark Shark and his thoughts. But truly, like, the Silent Game where Pontius is like the woman and he's just dancing and he's tucking his junk back, and then Dave comes out and he's scared shitless and he's like, this is where I live now.
Honestly, just like kudos to you even for the electric lollipop, you just go for it.
Yeah,
like, it's no hesitation.
We shot that probably like 3 times, I think 3 times, because we used 2 different tasers. The first taser we used was painful, but the current wouldn't catch on film.
Oh, okay.
So Tremaine was like, let's shoot it again, and we're going to use a different taser, but this one's not more painful.
Okay.
And that's when I learned that Jeff is a liar. So that's why in the shot you see 2 different tasers, because people call that stuff out.
Jesus. So how do you build trust with him?
You don't.
You don't?
No.
What was the grossest thing that you saw? And there's...
Oh my God, so many.
Yeah, I don't even know where you start.
Ugh.
Like,
I've seen, like, poop come out of their buttholes, like liquid. Yeah. And then what is gross is when one throws up, it, like, triggers a train of just, like, chunks being blown. I think, honestly, Zach Sheemy was one of the grossest things, and I got to write on that bit, so I'm very proud of it. I think someone said it was the grossest piece of cinema ever, and I was like, that's so hot. Yeah, Zach finding the sushi, like, a couple days later in one of his folds, medically speaking, that probably was one of the grossest. things I've seen.
Are you a vomiter? Like, do you
I am
get
a
squeamish?
huge thrower-upper,
Yeah.
but I don't want to make it seem like it's like a passion of mine because it's not. But like I when I get sick, I throw up. And I think because of that, I was able to kind of just like mentally keep it together. I don't want to say I'm so used to it, but yeah, I have a lot of experience in vomiting.
Your tolerance was built
Yeah,
up.
very high.
A very important question. How many dicks did you see on set?
The limit does not exist. Like literally.
There it
I
is.
lost count.
Yes.
And that was day one.
My
Day
God.
one, yeah. It was a soft day at work.
So you do the sketch with the scorpion, right? And the scorpion falls and you're like, hey, I'm giving you consent to get this fucking thing off of me.
Yeah.
Like, was there anything weird that they were like, oh, maybe we should do something like all of our dicks are out. Should her boobies be out? Like, was there anything
that's
like
a great,
that?
That's a great question. When it comes to female nudity, you know, we live in a society where I don't know if we're ready to find female nudity funny, per se. Whenever I've gotten naked in front of men, no one's been like, ha ha, you know? No one's like... laughed hysterically. Right. And I think that's also like a societal thing because I have gotten some feedback like, why didn't you show your nipples? Why didn't you didn't get kicked in the vagina for equality? And I just think we're just not there yet. I don't know. I'm always leading funny first, nipples second.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That's a great answer.